What's up, guys? Welcome into another edition of Bogey Free. We are coming at you with some Travelers Championship action this week. We are Evanless, as you could tell by the fact that Evan isn't speaking right now. And also, I am extremely sick. So I apologize in advance for my voice, and I will try to mute all of the coughs that come along with how I'm feeling right now. But Jimmy, how are you doing? I hope you're in better shape than I am right now.
Listen, Matt, I'm in fantastic shape, and I'm going to go ahead and apologize to our viewership up front and the listeners in the future. It looks like I'm carrying the show tonight, and we're all screwed.
Sound like $1,000,000, Jimmy.
So yeah, I'm ready to do this. What do we have to? We have to cover some stuff before we dig into the Travelers, right?
Yeah, let's give the quick shout out to the cash end slash hat listener league winner Hilltop 996 took down the listener league. I feel like he's around, or she. I don't know who it is. They haven't DM'd me their address yet for the hat, but I feel like they're always sort of in the mix. Every time I look at the listener league, they're usually up there somewhere. But then last week, some people, the listener league filled, I think, like Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah,
and
didn't even get in.
Yeah, and so some people DM'd me asking me if I could like expand it, and you can't once you set it up. But I figured I'd just throw in, an extra hat. Did a 50 person, and it filled, which was nice. So maybe the regular listener league can be a little bit bigger now. But Rothbury took that down. So good on him. He sent me his address. So the hat is in the mail as of tomorrow for sure. So congrats on that. Real quick before we dive into the Travelers, we do have to talk about the US Open. There were a lot of storylines this week. So I figured we could break down just quickly, nothing crazy, but sort of like our top three moments from the weekend. So you want to go back and forth, Jimmy, or you go three, I go three? What do you want to do here? Snake draft it?
You can start it off. There's really only like one thing in my mind that like needs to be discussed or like brought up after the US Open. But so I'm not sure where you're going to start, but go ahead and I'll jump in.
Yeah, that's my number 3 moment. Phil playing hockey like a toddler with his putter was just something to be seen. I legitimately had to rewatch it like 5 or 6 times just to be like, wait, was the ball still go? Like, what's happening right now? I know you had some strong thoughts on it.
I think it's pretty bad. I mean, just really it's so like first of all, I'm not a huge Phil fan, so I'll go ahead and say like this take isn't probably biased anyway. I don't think Phil's like a good dude. I think it's all a facade. I think he's probably a terrible human. Actually, it's probably not. That's probably a strong take. I'm sure he's probably not a terrible human, but I don't think he's like a good dude. Like he has been like questionable in his stock purchasing habits. Like he's always like cheating. So this kind of seems like the same thing to me. I mean, he obviously lost it and then crafted some story in the scorer's tent. I don't really know. I wasn't there, but it doesn't seem right. The way it all went down. It sort of seems like the Spieth thing from a couple of years ago when he like made Matt Kuchar stand in the fairway for like 20 minutes while he found his ball in his driving range, and then like had Greller go hold the pin from 240 out or something. It just felt wrong. The way the whole thing happened, the way he handled it, like all of it just felt really bad. And pretty crappy on Phil, like just all around. I'm sure other people don't see it that way. Again, it's a polarizing thing that happened. Regardless, I think you should have a little more class and just understand that you hit a bad shot, the penalty is going all the way down and wherever the ball is going to stop. Like, I don't know. It's just whatever.
Yeah,
Said my piece. I'm done. Moving on.
Yeah, it was questionable for sure. I mean, I'm more in the camp of like I was so in like disbelief that I couldn't do anything but like just fucking crack up about it because it was such a ridiculous thing to happen. Like I fully see where you're going though. Yeah. So what anything else really stick out to you? I went on Friday, so I might have a couple different takes that have nothing to
Let's
do
get a
with like
rules official.
what?
Like beef just, he didn't even know how to react. Like, as the golfer playing with him, he's like, yeah, so that happened. Rules official. What the hell do I do?
Right.
Because I don't even think it was so much like the scoring aspect either. Like, I think beef was genuinely like, is he just disqualified from the tournament now or no?
Right. And he probably didn't want to fuck up his scorecard either.
Exactly. And of course, that's the reason
part.
he was, because you have to, keep each other score, of course. But yeah, like it's, again, reading some of the other golfers' takes and how they took it, I think that, I don't know, I think everybody probably feels, I shouldn't say everybody, again, it's polarizing take, but bad look, man. Bad look.
Not the best. What anything else that you found interesting? You said you had a decent week, right?
I didn't. I played all GPP, so I didn't lose everything. I think I lost like 13%. So I'm sort of fine losing 13% when I'm playing all GPP in a total carnage week. So.
Absolutely, yeah. It was definitely crazy. Like I said, I went with my dad on Friday. We stood in the rain for a solid hour and a half in the morning. That sort of came out of nowhere. But the other two things that I just wanted to quickly bring up. Shout out to Parziali, the firefighter guy.
For sure.
Fucking makes the birdie to make the cut on the 36th hole and ties for low amateur. So good on him, man. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah, that is an awesome story to come out of the U.S. Open. That's one thing I really love about the U.S. Open and the Open in particular is you seem to have more of those stories. The Masters, Bryson was the amateur there. They always seem to have an amateur that plays well, but it always seems to mean more in the Open or U.S. Open formats. At least it does to me, to the media. It seems to be a bigger story and really cool story for that kid.
Yeah, Reed Fowler that we had on a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think sat down with him and interviewed him. He's like a local Boston guy, I guess. So they chatted for DK Live. So if you want to check that out, you can go over to their YouTube. But the most glorious moment of the entire tournament on Friday, me and my dad are sitting at the 8th green, and who walks up but Luke List, Tony Finau, and Gary Woodland. Like, could there have been a better group for me, honestly? Like, when I saw that tee time, I was like, this is insane. Like, this is the entire brand. They all hit the green. They all had birdie putts. It was fucking great. I was super pumped.
Oh, that's incredible. I hope you had some extra clothes with you.
I did. I had to go get some new pants at the merchandise tent, but
fantastic.
It's a worthy sacrifice.
No, that's awesome. You got to enjoy U.S. Open, man. I'd love to get to a major one day. But that's pretty cool to be able to go to one. So and also congrats to you on sticking to your diet. I know that that was a challenging day for you.
Yes,
so
it was.
Congratulations on that. That's also it's also nice having conviction, sticking to your guns.
Yeah, man. Day 21. So this is another sober cast for your boy, but we're chugging along.
Fantastic.
All right, let's quickly hit the course. As usual, you can check out Jimmy's video on Fanshare. You can check out my key stats and course breakdown article. It'll probably drop tomorrow morning. But real quick for the people who don't feel like reading or watching another video, what are we looking at here at River Highlands?
Yeah, TPC River Highlands. Built like 1928, par 70, 6,800 yards, mature tree lined course, pretty easy to hit fairways, a lot of less than driver looks off of the tee here. Fairways do get hit an above average clip. Greens are slightly elevated. They kind of run off to the sides. If you do miss the fairways, you are going to be in some trees. Generally the rough is a little bit longer, a little bit stickier here. It tends to be a softer condition golf course. So weather does come into play, both beforehand and during. Wind can be a factor at this course. Not huge, but does seem to play a factor one day a week or so, or one day a tournament. It was redesigned by Pete Dye in like 1982, 83. So you definitely have some of the Dye influence in the necessity to work the ball left to right and right to left in order to have success on this golf course. But for the most part, it is all approach shots, all short and mid irons, and all about catching a hot putter on these bent grass greens. So, but for the most part, not a real challenging golf course. Very gettable. This is the site of Jim Furyk's 58. So, if that's an idea for you of what kind of golfer succeeds here or can have success here, it's just about giving yourself opportunity.
Yeah, and that's recent Jim Furyk. That's not like
2 years ago.
Yeah, that's not like, 25-year-old, not that whatever. But I'm just saying it wasn't like prime Jim Furyk. Not that he really is like.
Yeah, who's like, what did he finish last week? I don't even know, but he was there.
He was good, and yeah, good for him too.
Always seems to like show up in these, that type of format.
People counted him out because of his distance, but he figures out a way. It seems no matter where he goes.
His swing was once described as akin to an octopus falling out of a tree.
I think that's
an incredible.
That's pretty good.
Made it on tour.
There's not a hell of a lot of other ways to describe his swing.
I know.
I mean, the poor guy couldn't even reach like the second hole, and it was a par 3.
Brutal, man.
He was up this fucking hill, and it was like playing 260, and he was like laying up on a par 3, and he still made the cut. And
he was laying up with a driver.
Right, exactly. You pretty much touched on everything I was going to say. Just if you look through the winners here, you can tell that there's not really like a true, like, this is definitely where you want some distance off the tee, or definitely where you want some accuracy off the tee. It's you can do it either way. Like you mentioned, it's short, but bombers, like Bubba Watson came in here and overpowered it a couple years, right? I think 2010 and 2015. Mm-hmm. And then you have like sort of average-ish drivers like Streelman and Spieth. So you don't necessarily need to be a bomber, but if you're playing well and you can bomb it, it definitely helps.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hit these 10K and up guys. We have a pretty good field considering it's the week after a major. We got JT, the US Open champ, Koepka, Rory, Spieth, and Patty Reed. So where are we going up here?
I guess right off the top, it's really hard for me to look past JT here. Your boy. I don't know. He was right there again on a tough golf course. He wasn't right there at the top of the leaderboard last week, but he just continues to show up. He has a decent course history here. And as I say decent, it's sort of polarizing because he's not, had the greatest success a couple of years, but then shown really well. I think it's safe to say that he is a better golfer, as you continue to mention, than when he was the last time he played at this golf course. It seems like if he decides to club down a little bit and gets super aggressive as he's known to do, his putter gets hot. He's in form. I think he's the kind of guy that could just run away with this tournament up here. And I think that's what you kind of need if you're rostering a guy above 10K this week. Because the top end feels like it looks good, but some of these guys have, they don't play here regularly, et cetera, et cetera. And the bottom end of this field is So early on, I found myself gravitating away from the top end, but the lineups I have grabbed so far have had JT in them, and they've had Patrick Reed in them, which inherently means that Rory and Spieth are probably going to be good GPP plays. Yeah,
I'm obviously JT is my guy, so I will figure out a way to fit him in. I don't know. What's your, and I'm definitely going to have Spieth again. I'm just going to keep throwing money at Spieth until he figures it out. So, you can tweet at me. You can be annoyed with the fact that I'm still playing Spieth or touting him or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But he is a good golfer, and he is going to be a good golfer again. And people just keep straying away from him. So why not, throw him in a couple lineups each week until he figures it out?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you're under multiple lineups, there's you definitely should have a few shares of him. Defending champion. We just saw a defending champion win. There's no reason another defending champion can't win.
Right.
And Spieth had a nice little run there, to try and make the cut, and then just kind of fell apart the last few holes. But he put like 4 or 5 birdies in a row together on the back 9 to try and make the cut. Started to putt with a little confidence. I mean, again, that's all very speculative from what I could see on TV, but and we don't get stats from the U.S. Open really. Again, it's, we're talking about a course that comps well to like Sedgefield and some other places that Spieth has had success as well. And his game fits. So if you're playing multiple lineups, you can't go wrong with any of these guys here. What's your take on Brooks? Is he just going to overlook this type of event, or does he just like stroll in here like DJ did after the U.S. Open a couple of years ago and then stroll back out with a WGC? Does he just stroll in here after his U.S. and stroll out with a trophy as well? I mean,
man,
he's the kind of guy that could do it, right?
He is. I don't know, man. It's tough. Like anybody who played last week, like I'm sure is going to, feel a little bit of an effect. And I think it could go either way, right? It could go like, holy shit, this course is super easy compared to Shinnecock. And they, the hole looks like it's the size of a basketball hoop and they're just pouring everything in. Or it could go the other way and they're just like literally mentally exhausted. And, I think it could go either way with him. I find it hard to sort of back him. I know that he's obviously a very talented golfer, but in this sort of spot, in the sense that like it doesn't seem, I mean, he's on record as saying he doesn't really give a shit about golf.
Yeah.
So like
it's sort of tragic.
Keeping that in mind, I'm sort of like, do I really want to play him after he just won like a back-to-back US Open? If he was the top, like if JT wasn't in the field, I would probably feel better about it. But I think I would rather just find the $200 and pay for JT personally. That's sort of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I find myself gravitating to JT as well as I've built some lineups. Reed is super interesting to me. Has played well here at this course before. Game theoretically suited. Ultra confident, fires at every pin. This is the type of course you can fire at every pin, even though they tend to tuck them around here. The course plays soft, and if it does, the course tends to play soft. Has historically. If it plays soft again this week, expect Patrick Reed to be just firing at pins like left and right, and that's all he was doing. I mean, did you see how he opened his round Sunday? Just boom, 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 boom.
I was really pissed, actually.
Right after everything. So I'm sure. I mean, like I'm sure you weren't thrilled about that, but either way, especially he's the type of aggressive player that I think could be rewarded on this golf course.
Right. And that was juxtaposed with Finau sort of struggling and having a little bit of nerves in the beginning. But fucking shout out to Tony Finau, because dude just shows up all the time.
He's not in the field this week, but absolutely good on Finau. Very impressive, and great on you for having such conviction with him at that event. That was a bold call for sure in terms of picking him to win. And he didn't disappoint you.
No, not at all. And one other sort of like quirky thing that happened on Friday, he and Alex Noren had literally the same exact outfit on, like down to the shoes. They had the same exact Nike kit from top to bottom, same hat, same shirt, same pants, same shoes. It was hysterical. When Noren was walking down the same fairway, I was looking and I was like, did they like get lost? Did they not know where they are?
But that was like a weird version of twins, man. Tony Finau is like a solid 9 inches taller than Alexander Noren?
Yeah, probably. But just from tee box to green on that hole, I was like, wait. All right, let's why don't we let's go 8,500 and up. So like Horschel today. We got a couple guys in here that paid off pretty nicely for me. I had like a break even week, but I went 85% Casey and Leishman in my 20 lineups, and heading into Sunday, that looked pretty good. They both sort of faded a little bit on Sunday, but where are you looking in this range if you had to like sort of narrow down to a couple guys?
Day is really interesting to me because I don't think he or Rory is nearly as bad as what we saw at a really difficult golf course. Generally speaking, I mean, the guys that blew up and missed the cut, I think this is the one event of the year, or one of a few events of the year that you can kind of just say that's not really representative.
Yeah.
So I think that will inherently make them good GPP plays this week, just because I don't believe the general public and most people building lineups are going to feel that way. So I would like to have some of Day at what I feel like is a really, really cheap price, or really good price for him comparative to the rest of the talent in the field. So really excited about the price on Day from a GPP perspective. Paul Casey from a cash perspective seems like the lock to me.
Always
Really good course history, just prototypical type of golfer that you want here. Always in the middle of the fairway, always in the middle of the green, lots of opportunities, but a shaky putter. These slower greens, they tend to be slower greens here. I think will help Paul Casey. And we could be looking at him maybe getting his second tour victory of the year here this week. I'm not a huge fan of Bryson at this course. I'm not really sure why. He doesn't have the greatest course history, but I don't know. It just seems like his putter may not be what it needs to be to kind of keep pace with the field here. And I mean, I could be wrong about that, but that's just my gut feeling on Bryson. But he doesn't have the course history, and I don't know. He's probably the guy that I totally stay away from in this range.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm pretty much with you. I mean, until I really see a reason not to, I think I'm just going to keep going like at least 75% Casey every week. Like I can't, like, why would you not roster him? Like, even if you take out the win that he had, right? Like, even if you say like, oh, he can't win, he can't close, he can't do this. All he does is make cuts. Like, and this isn't, I mean, it's not a weak field, but it's certainly not the strongest field in the world. So I would be shocked if he missed the cut. He would definitely be one of my, he'll definitely be in my cash lineup this week. Did you say Ryan Moore?
No, but go ahead and say what you're going to say about him, and then I'll just go ahead and like pre-agree.
I feel like he's going to be. Do you think he's going to get pretty popular? I feel like he's going to be pretty chalky this week.
I kind of hope not. I kind of hope that people overweight last week and they focus on the people like Webb that played well last week, and not to say Webb that can't play well, and Berger that played well. And has played well here in the past. I'm hoping that he gets like maybe a little muddied right there, because I do like Ryan Moore this week. I think he's quoted as really enjoying this golf course. I like the sight lines on it. His game sets up really well. Again, just middle of the fairway every time, middle of the green every time. Going to give himself some opportunities, and he's going to do that all 4 days, and he's going to make more than he's not. So,
I like that take. I'm hoping that you're right. I'm hoping that there is some recency stuff with some of the ownership, and he goes a little under-owned, because I think he's an excellent play this week. The other guy I wanted to quickly talk about is Xander. Sort of, showed back up a little bit last week, right? He seems to be, I don't know, maybe it's a weather thing, maybe it's a different grass thing. I don't know what the deal is, but
I think it's a big game thing.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, man. And I'm sure this is a bad take or an incorrect take, but it seems to me that Xander really shows up at the big events, and then the other ones maybe he doesn't quite get up for, or maybe he is so focused on the big events that the other ones just don't get the preparation that they need.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, because you look at the players, right? Out of nowhere, second place.
And like form going into it.
And then missed the cut. And then missed the cut the following week on a course that we all thought was suited him really well. Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to miss the cut here, but wins the PGA and then comes out soft this year early on, in the swing season. We thought he would just kind of dominate, and he didn't, right? So I'm just wondering if he has really focused his game towards these bigger events and these majors, and I'm wondering if this one maybe doesn't make that list. And if he's just not as focused, and if that maybe makes some other people better plays. Yeah. Though that's my very, subjective take.
No, I mean I think that's reasonable. If you just look through his results, you can see that it's that there's like a little bit of lulls here and there, but I think he's pretty streaky, and he played well here last year. He came in 14th last year. Um, again, right after that great performance at the US Open, and these 2 weeks sort of propelled him into, what did he win? Like two or three events later at the Greenbrier. So, he sort of rode some good form through that little stretch, missed a cut at the PGA, and then came out firing again for the playoffs. So he I don't know. I think he may have figured something out a little bit. I think he got some confidence back. I like some Xander this week.
Yeah.
We got some people in the chat asking about Hoffman, or mentioning Hoffman. I didn't know your take on him.
I don't not like him. He's in my, others to consider. I didn't specifically write him up, but I will have some shares of him. Steady player. Again, I think he can get tee to green. He doesn't need to hit driver all the time, playing pretty well right now. Decent results at the course. And I like Charlie, like as a dude on tour too. I like that quote from last year. I like the guys that can get aggressive, and Charlie can get aggressive. He tells his caddy, "Man, I'm tired of finishing second." And you got to be that way.
Yep.
I like Charlie. I like his attitude. Always seems like a good dude on tour. So yeah, both like him for the play, and I like him as a fan.
Yeah, he had a pretty good crowd cheering him on. Not big like some of the other crowds, obviously, but vocal crowd, I'll say. All right, let's dip below here and go. I don't know. You want to do like
neither one of us mentioned Bubba.
Oh yeah, fine. I
just
why
I'm listen. I just think it's interesting. That's all.
I don't play Bubba, so
fair enough.
I don't know. I know obviously I mentioned him at the top. He's won here twice. When he won, he, like I said before, just completely overpowered the course. He was first in driving distance both times, and he was like outside of the top 70 in driving accuracy, and still managed to get it done. So he obviously has the blueprint, having multiple wins here. And, like they say, he plays comfortably where he's comfortable. So
for sure.
But I'd rather play more, like 100% more. I'd rather play Xander sort of maybe like more of a coin flip, but I probably won't end up with much Bubba. Maybe I'll like hedge and do like a Bubba and Reed lineup, just like in case everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And I could even throw Brooks in there. Can I fit all three of those guys?
I don't know, but I'm with you there. My thoughts are the same on Bubba.
Yeah,
I like where you cut it off with Horschel though, because the next one's really important.
Hit me. What do you got?
Oh man, it's Cantlay at 8,400, dude. And he's going to be super chalk by the end of this week, man.
Yep. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't. No, I think I'll be very close to that. I think I'm not gonna go crazy this week. And although I do like the $5 GPP that DraftKings has out there this week, $100K $5. So I might end up, just kind of clicking a few too many times on my phone, because it's just too easy. But I will have a significant portion of my lineups with Patrick Cantlay in them this week.
Yes, I agree. And I think that's another one that we could probably just record and play on loop most weeks, unless something like drastic changes.
Yeah, but I think this course, specific to what we all can have concerns about with Cantlay, is his scrambling. This course specifically, in the way it sets up, with it being a bit softer, one of the softer courses on tour, it allows his approach game to just outplay the rest of the field, and right. he doesn't need to putt. Like he's gonna Martin Keimer it, right? Yeah. Where when he won the Open, he doesn't need to putt anything because he's just next to the pin all the time. Yeah. I think that that's the type of thing you could see here. And I saw somebody on Twitter, I think earlier, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was. And maybe you know this or can confirm this. Somebody said he shot a 60 here once.
Oh, really? I mean, Wouldn't be shocking. I hadn't heard that, but
Yeah, and again, I'm sorry, I didn't write it down in my notes on who I saw. I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw that. So whoever put that out there, awesome. I hope it's true.
yep. I just Googled it in 2011. 19-year-old UCLA star Patrick Cantlay. Yep. Set the then course record 60.
Oh yeah. So by the time that nugget circulates, he'll be uber chalk.
Yeah, it's over. But again, if you go 100%, you're going to be overweight, so it's fine.
Yeah. Does that make Brian Harman sort of like a really interesting contrarian play?
Do you think he's contrarian?
I think that nobody is going to own him.
Really?
Well, I mean, I don't think he's given people like a really great reason to own him. And then Zach Johnson, Brandt Snedeker, Russell Knox, all below him, all playing really well, all fit this golf course way better. And then I'm like, people are going to play Keegan Bradley in cash this week. So, I mean, there's going to be some ownership. And then you've got Griot at 77. I just see a lot of people just grabbing Cantlay and then moving on.
I guess I think I just thought that he would be popular because Tim Anderson tweeted out that that's his one and done, Harman. So,
well, then never mind. This easy decision. I didn't know that.
So there's that.
Cool. We can stop talking about Brian Harman. So,
oh, sorry, coughing fit. What about your boy Brandt? 8,100.
Yeah,
pretty good price.
Definitely take Brandt at a golf course that doesn't require length, and he is, obviously his game is back. I played him the last 2 weeks. I'm not going to stop playing him now.
Yeah, for sure. Are you hopping on the list train this week?
I don't think so, man.
7,900 is just so nice.
It is, but I mean, he has 2 missed cuts here, unfortunately.
That's old list.
It could be. Listen, it could be. We're here on Bent, but I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me this week.
I mean, to be fair, one of those was like in 2013 too.
It is.
Oh my God, he lost 9 strokes off the tee that year.
Yeah. So again, like
that's
why when you said new list or old list, I said it could be, because if he clubs down, and because he doesn't need to hit driver here at all,
right?
Like, so if he clubs down and he learns how to manage this golf course, I think he could potentially score really well. Do I think he does? Do I think he makes the cut? Yeah. I don't think he probably misses the cut again, but I don't necessarily know if he's going to find himself in the top 15.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I have a little bit more faith in him, but that's I think that's fair. Let's see who else we got down here. We got this is a pretty difficult range to sort of sort out, because you have from I don't know how like crazy high I am on like Keegan, or though you have Knox right ahead of him. So figure Knox to like, I don't know, at least through 7,500 to when you start getting to like Siwoo. There's a ton of guys that are at least worthy of your consideration, right? Like Griot is there, Steele is there, Cook is there, CT Pan is there, Henley's there. Like there are a lot of guys here that could be playing pretty well this weekend. So I'm definitely in on Steele. Do you think Griot, do you think people completely throw out last week and say, screw it, like this is still a good price for him? Or do you think people get scared off by the miscut?
Oh, I hope people are scared. Well, I said the reason last week I didn't play Griot is his putting. I didn't think he was going to be a good putter on POA. The other thing is, like, and I mentioned it in my article this week, is he's kind of a hothead, man. He loses it in some tough conditions. He threw his 4-iron at the API like a year ago.
You don't need your 4-iron. Come on, who hits their 4-iron?
I don't know. Tin Cup didn't need anything but a 7-iron.
There you go.
But
and look how that turned out.
Yeah, he qualified for the U.S. Open. Part him with a 7-iron. You ever do that, David? Yeah, it's I'm going back to Griot. I hope people are scared, because it's not like like I said earlier in the podcast too, if there's 1 week I'm willing to throw out, or one of the few weeks a year I'm willing to throw out, it's last week. That was a really tough golf course, a lot of wind, a lot of variables, a lot of frustration. Phil hit a ball that was moving, for God's sakes. A lot of frustration.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I don't really care about last week with Griot. I will be heavily exposed to Griot this week.
Yeah,
And we're back on bentgrass, his favorite putting surface.
yeah. And I like again, I think we lose a lot of context. Like it's something that I'm trying to work on too. Like he missed the cut by a stroke. Like he didn't eject, right? Like he played well enough to, I sort of down the stretch on Friday, Data Golf had +9 as like the lock, and then it moved to +8. Like he very easily could have made the cut if a couple of things broke a different way. So it's not, he didn't like come out and shoot 92 and just hack it around the course. So something to consider. Who else did we? CT Pan. I think he's already gaining a little bit too much popularity though. Like I forget who it was. Cabbage something. So somebody that follows me like tweeted to Pat and me about him. And I'm just like, then all of a sudden I saw, I think NYC Punter tweeted out a thing about CT Pan. Like, I think he's gonna get pretty popular too this week, and probably for good reason, right?
I mean, he has course history, and the 2 times he's played here, he's played excellent here. I've played him quite a bit on par 70s this year. He likes par 70s. He's a good par 4 scorer. This is a course that sets up really well for him. He is not a flashy golfer. He doesn't do like anything exceptionally well. He just does everything like pretty well, and he gets hot. And he's playing well right now. So he likes the course. Is talented enough to put together a top 10. And yeah, people are going to be crazy on him. So I think you have like 2 options with him. You can either, fade him altogether and hope he misses the cut, entirely possible. Or you can just bite a piece. I guess you can go underweight, but I think one of the ways is I don't think people are going to stack him and Griot that are both going to be popular. And I think one of the ways that you can maybe differentiate is actually by stacking 2 really popular golfers. I'm not really sure how many people are going to grab both of them in a lineup this week. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Am I off, or do you think people are just going to grab 5 guys in this $7,000 range, and then one really expensive guy?
No, I don't think you're off at all. I think that's an interesting thing that you just sort of said in passing, though, too. Like combining, if people are going to get crazy and try to be cute and avoid chalk, then theoretically putting 2 chalky guys together
that are right next to each other in pricing,
right, could actually differentiate you, because they might be less likely to be in a lineup together. So that is definitely a thought that I am now going to have to like research and probably write an article about. But no, I agree. I think, I don't know. Do you really think there are many weeks that guys really, I don't know. What do you think lineup construction is going to be like? Do you think
it's going to be balanced this week? I think.
Don't you think higher balanced? I don't think it's going to be.
Probably. I think it's like the upper 8s and the lower 9s. You grab 3 or 4 of those guys, and then you grab like a low $7,000 guy, 71. Right.
Then you grab Sink, and then you're fine.
Print money, baby.
There you go. Easy game.
Yeah. So and then they probably go back up and they grab one $7,700, $7,600 guy, and that's why I think there's an opportunity to maybe stack 2 of those guys in a full balanced mid range lineup, and find yourself different with popular players.
Yeah. Just quickly going back to what you were talking about with CT Pan on par 70s. I was looking at this earlier today, so I just pulled it up. So he averages about 21 extra DK points compared to his average on par 70s than other courses. So
there you go.
That's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
So all right. So we got some of those guys. Are you gonna have any Furyk?
Sure.
I feel like you might throw him in cash.
I don't know. So I guess one of the things that I worry a little bit about with Furyk is he's an older golfer coming off playing really well at a brutal golf course for 4 days. And I mean, now this is a much easier golf course, but he is one of the older guys in the field. You put out an interesting thing on Twitter earlier I saw with their performance after their finished position at the U.S. Open and then their finished position at this golf tournament.
Right.
Right. What is your overall thought? You've obviously done more research than I have on this. I have my own opinion, which has no facts behind it. But
Which are the best kinds of opinions.
Yeah, but since you've done actual research on this, I really do want to know, like, what did you find? What is what's most important, or what is the risk in rostering guys that are coming off of a miscut last week versus maybe guys that are coming off of like a top 10 last week?
Yeah, so I did tweet it out. So if anybody listening wants to like look at it themselves, they're more than welcome to, and I can post more info if necessary. But basically, I really was looking at like the miscuts, the guys who missed the cut here and then played the Travelers the following week. And it's about what you'd expect. Like half the guys missed the cut both weeks. And then about a quarter of the guys finished in the top 25. And there's been 2 winners from guys who have missed the cut the previous week. For guys in the top 10, it's really all over the place. Like I did an LM, like a linear regression, and it was like 0.0007 r adjusted r squared. So there's really like no
zero predictivity.
Yeah, there's really no there's nothing. There's no signal there at all. There have been guys who came runner up at the Open and missed the cut the next week. There's guys who were 9th and then 10th the following week. Like it's all over the place. There's no data or statistical reason to think that there's some sort of an advantage or disadvantage to it, basically, is what I found, which was great for spending 45 minutes writing a script to figure it out and then realizing that there's nothing there.
But
it's my favorite.
But you knew definitively now. See, like, again, now, I have more knowledge. You have more knowledge.
Yeah. Now we know it doesn't matter. So figure some other way to figure it out.
Yeah. Find another edge, people. Also,
very quickly, I feel like we're actually going through this pretty fast. We've 40 minutes in. All right. Just real quick. If you are a Fantasy National member and you haven't played around with the time machine thing yet, like you got to do it. It's unbelievable. It's extremely, extremely fun. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, you basically can pick like last year's Travelers Championship and you can see the lead-in form, like the model that you built, and then see how they actually did that year, which is pretty awesome. So just wanted to point that out if some people missed it, because that's a really cool new feature on Fantasy National. I don't know if you played around with that at all yet, Jimmy, but it's pretty sweet.
Bro, I'm looking for it. I don't even see it right now.
It's so you change like the slate where you go in like to pick DraftKings or betting odds or whatever.
Oh, okay. Got it. So, yeah. Wasn't even aware that that's there.
Yep, it's pretty sweet. Definitely worth playing around with. Whether there's, I guess you can really sort of backtest a model that you built, sort of in a manual way, but it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I haven't finished building all my models for the week anyway. So yeah, I'm glad you told me about that.
Pretty sweet. All right, let's hit these lower 7K guys. We mentioned Furyk already. I don't know, are we hopping back on the Tway train? Is he gonna Bubba this thing and overpower it?
It's funny. I run a just course history and recent form, strokes gained, the last 5 events, historically, and then the last 5 recent events, optimal model every week, and he shows up in it this week.
Yeah, buddy, we're back.
So I looked at kind of what he does, what I think he maybe does wrong here, and I think it's similar to List. I think he just tried to overpower a golf course that he doesn't need to overpower. Yeah. Because I do think that his game could theoretically have some success around here, much like a Gary Woodland that's like forced the club down at some places. I think that Tway could do that at this golf course. But again, it's a very subjective thing in how he chooses to manage and approach a golf course, not just one day, but all days. So I don't know. It's hard for me to bank a ton on how I think a guy is going to play a golf course. When your boy when I kind of know how Stuart Sinkle played this golf course, and maybe I won't play him, but you know, other golfers like him that are that they don't have to make that decision on the tee box every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sort of takes a variable away. You kind of know how they have to play a golf course. So again, I think he fits well and could have success, but a lot of that is going to be dependent on how he chooses to approach, I think, the course more than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll probably just put him in, like, I'll probably max the whatever it is, $4. Or no, they might not be doing that, right? They're
No, it's a
doing the
$5,
drive the green.
150 entry.
So that ain't happening. So I'll do the 20 max, like dollar short game or whatever, just to build my 20 lineups. And Tway will be in one of them. I'm not gonna go crazy on him. He'll definitely be in one of them. I'll probably have Sink in a couple because I think he makes the cut here. And I think the next guy we should probably talk about would be Wes Bryan, right?
Yeah, but there's a couple we skipped over. I want to jump back up a little bit real quick.
Don't you dare say Ollie.
No.
Okay.
I'm Ollie. Just because you said don't dare, but that's
Don't
not
do it.
no, that's not who I want to talk about.
He's the worst.
Bill Haas and Chesson Hadley at 7,300. Really interesting to me. Bill Haas more for GPPs. Chesson just in general. I think he's underpriced for his talent and what he's shown this year. I don't think I'll have to scramble a ton here. And just been, you know, really, really consistent all year. So Chesson at 73 really sticks out to me.
Yeah, I actually started Hadley and I skipped over him because I got excited about Furyk.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're moving pretty quick, so I wanted to kind of go back. And the other guy for GPPs is $7,500. Siwoo Kim, man, like he likes Pete Dye golf courses. He won at the Players. He came in second at RBC Heritage. He's been consistent, like remarkably consistent in making cuts, even if he's had like a lackluster approach game since the RBC Heritage. He still found a way to make cuts and get it done with like a variety of other ways throughout his game. I think this is the type of course that we could just see Siwoo Kim come all the way back. So if you're playing multiple lineups, he's probably worth a share. Or, you know, if you're betting outright, I think this is a great tournament to bet Siwoo outright at. He's shown that he likes golf courses similar to this. They're designed similarly. He won't have to try and overpower, won't have to kill his driver all the time. Excellent wedge player. And a terrible putter that should be helped with slightly slower greens and a bit softer conditions. If he's sticking everything to like 7 feet, you know, he's got to make some of those putts.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see his like each way odds. I think that would be a pretty solid bet. If you're into that kind of thing. All right. Anybody else in this 7K range? We can or we could talk about some punts down here. I don't think I'm really gonna dip below 7,000 much. There's one guy that sort of sticks out to me. And I'm hoping maybe you could find another one or two for me. And I think I'll probably limit it to like 2 or 3 guys down here.
Go for it.
So I just feel like I need to play some Vaughn Taylor this week.
Don't hate it.
Personally. He what was he? 18th at the St. Jude in Memphis. Gained 7 strokes on approach. He's gained strokes on approach in 4 of his last 5 outside of the Fort Worth, which his short game picked up for it, and he still finished in the top 20. So he's somebody I'm looking at if I do dip down here. You know, when I want to fit in JT to a lineup, I'll probably have to. So I think he's sort of the first guy that really jumped out to me. Like there's some real hot garbage down here, but he's one. And I don't know, maybe that kid Dylan Meyer,
who
the kid from Illinois, he finished 20th. I think he just turned pro. All right, maybe he might even be still an amateur and might be in on like an exemption or something. But he played very well this weekend. You know, for a young kid to finish 20th on that course last week, I think is pretty impressive. So if not this week, someone to keep an eye on, you know, for the next like year or two to come.
Yeah, I'll have to note that one down. Wasn't really paying attention to the career track of a Dylan Meyer, but we'll need to now based on per Matt Jones.
Whenever you watch those college championship stuffs on Golf Channel last year, he was always right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I watched. I saw the rerun the other day of the Oregon Texas one with Bo and Wise. Man, got me hyped up.
Nice.
That was some of the greatest golf I've ever seen. Yeah, Wesley Bryan at 7,000 definitely sticks out. Guy gained 8.8 strokes, I think. I wrote up in my article, but I think he gained 8.8 strokes at the St. Jude with his irons. So while he's not shown great lately, and while he's not had the best history here, I do think that just talent alone, former tour winner at RBC Heritage, at Harbortown, comp course, similar, same course designer, good putter. Again, I think that $7,000. I think it's like just it feels like they priced him like $300 or $400 too cheap just to make sure that you could fit in JT and Brooks and Rory and Spieth into lineups this week.
Yeah.
Like it really does. Like he feels a couple $100 too cheap to me. Like when I'm looking at the other players around him, especially after what we just saw. Maybe the DK algorithm knows something I don't, but I'm willing to roll with him when I'm up top picking those guys. Speaking of RBC Heritage and Harbortown, $7,100. Satoshi Kodaira is the guy that won at Harbortown this year, bested Siwoo Kim. A lot of the Japanese tour courses are tight courses. It's all irons. It's all control off of the tee and placement. So again, guy's a tour winner. Very similar setup in terms of his recent form to Siwoo Kim as well. Yeah. But I'm going a little comp course on that one, and just sort of talent and world ranking down here at $7,100. He's worth a look to me and probably worth a couple of shares. Not sure what happened to Pat Perez. He's sort of fallen off of the world. An aggressive par 4 scorer that, could maybe find his game here. I don't think he's ever played here, at least not recently. I don't know, $7,000 maybe worth a GPP flyer. It's not really convincing, but it's like, earlier this year we were playing Pat Perez at like $9,000 on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So
he played here 03, 04, 05, 07, 09. Okay. Three made cuts, 2 missed cuts, 1 top 20.
There's a lot of dart throws down here that like I wouldn't fault anybody for playing or taking a share of. It's just I don't have a lot of conviction about any of them. But like $6,800 for Sam Ryder, Patton Kizzire, Andrew Landry, probably all have better odds to make the cut than a lot of the others around them. As I scroll through, I don't see a whole lot more down here though. Hey, it's Podrick. You can get Podrick Arrington down here, 6,600.
There you go. Print money.
Yeah, I'm not playing Podrick Arrington. Hey, Poddy.
He was so good at one stretch, though. Like he was
three majors in a row. He almost got the Grand Slam.
Extremely fun to watch through that stretch where he was on. Like that was something cool to watch.
He's one heck of a character, man. Yeah. Just in general, like genuine human characters. He is one of those people, man.
Yeah, he's great.
An irreplaceable figure in golf.
They did one of those shows, like a playing lesson or whatever, with him on Golf Channel back in the day, and I used to watch it all the time, like on repeat, because he's just so funny. Like he's just an entertaining dude.
Yeah,
it sucks that he's not good at golf anymore, but
just watch him come out here and put a top 20 up or something.
Oh my god, of course.
Seamus Power. I'm just looking. What is Seamus Power doing at $6,800? There's a guy down here if you need one.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really it. Unless people want to get, where's Ken Duke? Ken Duke's won here before. He's priced somewhere in here, right?
Yeah, he's 6,500.
There you go. If anybody wants to get on Ken Duke, you could be my guest. I don't think I'll be there though.
No, that's not happening. He made the cut in Memphis for what that's worth, but that's about it. Well, actually, you know what? Here's all you need to know about him right now. He finished 65th in DR a couple months ago in that like alternate event.
Yeah.
So not the best, but I think that probably about does it. leaving you guys with the thought, like, lineup construction probably looks more balanced than diving this deep. I'm probably gonna live in sort of like the, I don't know, Leishman, Casey, Shoffley, Cantlay, and try to like mix those up as a couple different cores and go from there. That's sort of my plan on a Monday night with you know, as I'm coughing my brains out. So that's my strategy. That's my final thought.
Yeah, I'm similar to you in that that aspect. I will have more of my lineups of a balanced construction than I will as stars and scrubs. I will take some hedges with a couple of the low-owned guys up top for sure. It is sort of a wide open golf tournament, I feel like, especially after the US Open that we saw last week. Neither one of us mentioned Berger. Just a final thought here. Do you believe the hype with him last week? The favorable weather draw, the mediocre form, missing the cut where he's won twice, and then now coming into this event. Do you buy the hype or no?
I mean,
neither one of us mentioned him, and I haven't heard him talked about at all this week so far.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. I think that's like, you're really going pretty granular to sort of focus in on his Saturday and be like, oh, he's back, sort of thing. Like, does that make sense? Like, I think that's a little too narrow for me to be like, oh yeah, like he's back in form and everything's good again. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to judge based off last week, like you mentioned. Like, it's very easy to just ignore it. Maybe I'll have him in one lineup, just, you know, if I see a couple more highlights of him from Saturday or something, and like my fucking like dumb monkey brain like can't get past it. But I don't know. I think he probably gets more popular than I want him to be. Meaning, like, I don't know. I wouldn't want him to be more than like 5% if I was playing him. So
he'll definitely be more popular than that.
Be more than that. So that's sort of where I'm at. Maybe I'll throw him in with Reed and Bubba in my hedge lineup.
There you
go. Yeah, but good call, because we did sort of just breeze over him, and he did. You know, he was in the final group at the US Open, so I guess there's that.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, you know, we skipped over the guy that, you know, arguably had a decent chance to win the golf tournament coming down the stretch on Sunday, or opening the day Sunday.
I just can't wait until Finau's back in the field so I can play him 100% again.
Where's he playing next? Do you know?
That I don't know, but it's not soon enough. That's all I have to say.
Always more Finau is the answer, whatever the question is.
Always. I don't even know really, like, what else are we looking forward to coming up here?
We got Carnoustie. I'm fired up about that.
It'll be fun.
I can't wait for them to not screw with the course and still have it be an amazing event.
Yeah. Oh, all right. We got Quicken Loans coming up. Greenbrier, John Deere. Then the Open, and then Johnny Vegas's Canadian Open.
Oh yeah, Vegas Open, Vegas Canadian Open.
So we got, I don't know, man. We got some. I think we got some good tournaments coming up, and it looks like the GPPs this week are pretty nice on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think the $44 and the $5 have a top prize of $100K, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely life-changing money out there this week, folks. Let's be degenerates. Bet on some golfers. Change our lives.
Yeah, and let's keep doing that. Let's keep making sure that we fill shit on DraftKings so that they give us good tournaments.
I don't know. I could use $100,000. I'm not lying.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, just saying.
All right, I think we're done. I need to go to bed.
I'm gonna get some sleep. Feel better.
I'm going to get this show up, and we will talk with you guys soon. Make sure you follow along with us on Twitter all week so that you can stay up to date in case anything happens. Maybe a withdrawal or two coming, depending on how people feel when they wake up tomorrow morning. So pay attention to that if you're building lineups tonight. Other than that, good luck, and we will talk soon. See ya.